their own citizens.
That's true. There is a big difference.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think one of them does it based upon political grounds, and the other one does it based upon racial grounds. But I'm not sure.
Okay,
it's a bit different. But over in Turkey, though, President Erdogan, he's actually defied the hopes of many Turks in that he's won re-election. Despite a united opposition with a charismatic leader and the economy having a 12% inflation and the Turkish lira losing about a fifth of its value, he still managed to take 53% of the vote, and obviously managed to also sort of get himself a lot of accusations of fraud. But hey,
gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, it's difficult to say, really. But
look, he should just do what China did and be like, I'm just going to be leader now forever.
Well, please don't say that.
Please don't say that. He pretty much is, but at least the Chinese leader was elected by more people than Donald Trump was. So, yeah.
Yes, well, that's true.
But
that's
I feel like that's cheating because they have a lot more people.
That's not what he meant. Okay.
They do have a lot more people. That's true. Yeah. They have a lot more. They have a lot more US dollars in reserve as well, I believe.
So what you are is wrong. So it's okay. It's okay to be wrong.
Is it?
Don't worry about it.
So yeah. So back in Turkey, Erdogan has managed to take office again, ever more powerful than before because of the recent constitutional changes, which has meant he's abolished the role of prime minister, and he's given himself the powers to appoint the judges and override parliament in virtually any case he actually chooses to. Following his re-election, he decided to sack 18,000 state workers, including soldiers, police and academics, and closed down 3 newspapers and a TV station. This adds to the 125,000 he sacked and the 160,000 he's jailed during his last term as president. So he's getting off to a ripping start with this.
So you're saying things are going very well.
Well,
okay, I gotcha.
They are for him.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and obviously he's setting an example for other leaders around the world who might have the same kind of ideals.
Look, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I love that Erdogan, or whatever his name is.
Erdogan?
Yeah. Luwal Erdogan. Really good guy. Love him. Love everything about him.
Yeah.
He has turkey. I love turkey.
Oh, my God.
I love turkey right next to gravy. And on top of stuffing.
And I'm really
It's very
hungry.
wonderful.
What's fucked up about what you're saying is he kind of already does actually like him.
Well, he does, because it wasn't last year when there was a visit by Erdogan over to your country, and his bodyguards got away with just going out into the streets and beating the shit out of people. Just totally let off with it. No action whatsoever. Not even any questions over it. Just, hey, it's fine.
That's just American hospitality. You can come beat all of our citizens. Come on.
Well,
come over and beat them. That's fine.
Well, it saves your police a job, doesn't it? So
yes, that's true. Yeah. And they are overworked.
Yeah, overworked. Yeah. I mean, there's far too many brown people for them to get around to everybody.
Agreed.
Yeah, exactly.
Agreed. Yeah. Right, Austin?
Yeah, stand your ground.
All right, listen, so, we have time for one more.
Well, I was going to sort of blend two together here, because obviously we'd had...
Go for it.
We had a visit in our country.
You did? By who?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Well, it's somebody who...
Wait, hold on. Was it by the American Idiot?
It was, and unfortunately for you, that song didn't get to be number one in the charts.
What did it get up to? Do you know that off the top of your head? Do you know where it got to?
No, I don't generally follow the charts because modern music's shit.
Was it top 10?
Agreed.
So
I feel like it was at least top 10.
I know what was number one. It was Three Lions, which is a soccer-related song.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sport. I'm sorry, it just loses me entirely. But
it's okay. It's okay. I was really hoping that American Idiot would get to number one right before Trump got there. Because it's not the greatest song.
No,
it would be perfect.
No, it's
It's mostly because Tom's like, Green Day doesn't have enough money.
I love Green Day, all right? Fuck off, Austin. You like Rush. They have plenty more money.
Well,
I know, but nobody was trying to put Tom Sawyer at number one.
Because Tom Sawyer is a terrible song.
Well, I was actually, if it hadn't been for the soccer, I think there was a chance that it could have ended up being number one. And I was hoping that if it did happen, that Green Day would do a similar thing to what Rage Against the Machine did a number of years ago when they got the Killing in the Name became number one at Christmas because there was a protest vote against one of the X Factor songs becoming the Christmas number one. And Rage Against the Machine gave all the profits away to homeless charities in London.
Those guys are really good that way.
Yeah. So, but unfortunately, they didn't get the chance to actually show their solidarity, didn't Green Day? So who knows what they would have done with the money? But still, it was there as a song in the charts in response to the state visit by your Mango Mussolini, who claims that the people of this country love him, which kind of explains why 250,000 people turned out in London to welcome
to greet me
to show their feelings for him by protesting.
They even made a lovely balloon.
Oh yeah. Well, just as an aside on that, I was possibly going to mention it off air, but there's one of the companies that does sells cards over the internet to people. They're considering actually selling these balloons just as a small size balloon, and I promise you, if they do, I will buy you one each.
Please.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I promise you, if they do sell them, I will do that. But whether they'll actually go ahead with it or not, I don't know. But anyway, that balloon.
I need that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. That balloon was a work of genius, absolutely. And I know some people who actually chipped in for it, and obviously it made this giant baby Trump balloon made a lot of people on the right who support him made them cry, which it's a bit of ironic, really. But there you go. So yes, he came over here, and there was more people demonstrating against him in London than there was in his inauguration. So that that's yeah. So that's good.
I
for
love
him.
That.
And he met our head of state, who is
I'm so sorry.
Probably one of the few people as a head of state that actually is even less elected than he is.
By the way, I'm so. I don't know. I know you're not big on the English monarchy, but I am so sorry for the way he walked in front of the Queen of England.
Well, to be honest, and this is yes, I'm not a big fan of the monarchy, and I think the guillotine has a good presence in the community sometimes. But to be honest, I
Jesus Christ, what?
To be honest, I don't think
you don't just move on from a statement after like that, Steven.
Well, okay, just do what they did to the Romanovs then. But no, to be honest, you don't need to feel sorry for the Queen over this. Not just because she's the fucking Queen, and but additionally, because when Obama came over, she gave him a full state banquet and welcomed him and spent a lot of time with him. Sure. Whereas for Donald Trump, it was about 20 minutes she spent with him.
Is that really all?
Yeah, it's about 20 minutes.
So there was nothing else afterwards?
Not a lot, no. And constitutionally, she's because she is a constitutional monarch, she actually is meant to be completely apolitical. So she's not allowed to come out and say anything about what she feels about different people within politics and things. And but she's taken recently to expressing her opinions in quite subtle ways via clothing. And now, not last year when there was the announcement of the new government that was going to be pushing through the Brexit law, and she had to be giving a speech about what the government was going to be doing in their term in Parliament. She turned up to the state opening of Parliament, and she was wearing this blue coat and hat that was this mid-blue that had lots of yellow buttons on it. It was very reminiscent of a certain flag of just, that's out there that maybe has something to do with some of the laws that were being put through.
And that country is obviously
and that's
France.
Well, yes, obviously, yeah, because they're doing very well at the moment. But yeah, so in this instance, with meeting Donald Trump, the subtlety was that she was wearing two brooches. Now, one of them was a brooch that was given to her by the Obamas, which they'd personally picked out for her and selected as a personal gift to her. The other brooch was it came from the people of Canada and was in the shape of a snowflake. So
that's nice.
So yeah, I'm not a fan of the Queen generally, but sometimes even people you don't like do things that you've got to just nod and say, "Well played, well played, ma'am." Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And go Queen.
But Trump wasn't just about upsetting the Queen when he was over here. I mean, it's not just walking in front of her and doing that kind of thing. He did an interview with one of the biggest newspaper in the country, where he basically condemned Theresa May as a prime minister. Said that Boris Johnson, who was at the time the foreign secretary, or up until that time had been.
Yeah, how's he doing, by the way? He's doing pretty well, right?
Well, he's clinging on to his ministerial house and won't leave. So
oh, really? Is that for real?
Yeah, he's squatting. Yeah, that's a bit of a hoo-ha. But so he said that Boris Johnson would make a great prime minister. He said that Theresa May hadn't listened to his advice over the whole Brexit deal. And he said that what she should be doing is that she should actually be taking the European Union to court rather than negotiating with them.
Yeah.
So it's not interested in getting a deal via art or any other way. It's just taking them to court. Now, for somebody who is from a country that doesn't recognise any international court whatsoever, it's difficult to work out where you would actually sue them and take them to court. But
Ireland, obviously.
Thankfully, he doesn't have to elaborate on these things because the next day he completely retracted it all and said, "I didn't say that," despite the fact that he was recorded. Now, the interesting side note to that is that the Sun newspaper is run by the same people who run Fox News. So it's maybe not the people he should be actually saying or lying.
Is that for real?
Yeah. So there's a bit of a conflict there between people who would normally be supporting him, but are now going, actually, you're just calling us liars. Yeah, it's not really very good.
That must be very confusing for them.
Well,
fuck Fox News.
Well, yeah, because they like to keep things simple, stupid. So it's not really. They don't know how to try and mash up two thoughts together at the same time. It's very difficult for them. But his advice to Theresa May about the Brexit situation was maybe a bit late in the day because they had. Just the week before, the cabinet, all the chief ministers of the government over here, had a meeting and had a bit of a showdown where they'd locked themselves in to a country house, which the prime minister has, in order to hash out an agreement on what they actually wanted from the Brexit deal, which coming about 18 months after the actual decision to leave the EU and 8 months before we actually are going to be leaving. It's maybe a bit late in the day, but hey, at least they were doing it at that point. And they did actually come out of that at the end of it with everybody agreeing that they'd managed to come to a compromise that they all agreed with until 2 days later when ministers started resigning, including the Brexit minister, David Davis, and Boris Johnson that we mentioned before.
Boris Johnson! Oh, no!
Yeah. So, and those two are a great loss to international politics, considering the fact that they wouldn't have even had to have had that meeting if it wasn't for the fact that they'd not done their jobs up to then. I mean, Boris Johnson has been a complete fuck up as a foreign secretary, meaning that people who have been in prison